Yesterday, John Kasich on the Republican side did better in a few states than he has been doing. Vermont was one of those states. Here in Massachusetts was another state. And we spoke, Lewis, to independents and even left-leaning independents who said, I'm voting strategically on the Republican ticket today, the Republican ballot, because if it's going to be a Republican who wins the White House, I would rather it be Kasich than one of these other lunatics. So let's play my interviews with a couple of strategic Kasich voters, as we're calling them. It is Super Tuesday in Massachusetts. Which ballot did you vote on today?
I voted on the Republican ballot today.
And who ultimately earned your support?
Kasich.
And why John Kasich?
Because I believe that there is a need for some rational conversation with some experience. And while I am normally a Democrat, I felt very strongly that the Republican ticket needed a little bit of adjustment.
Will you be voting for a Republican in November for sure?
Unlikely.
Interesting. So are you undeclared? In other words, are you associated?
I'm a declared voter, so I get to vote whichever side, at this stage, whichever side I want. But it is unlikely that I will vote as a Republican.
Was this a sort of safety with the idea that if it is ultimately going to be a Republican, you would rather it be a sane one?
Yes, exactly. If it's going to be a Republican, I would like to have some sane discourse because I don't feel the current discourse is particularly reasonable.
All right, let's start with the simplest question. Which ballot did you vote in today?
I am unenrolled, so I voted on the Republican ballot.
What made you decide to vote in that ballot today?
I wanted to vote against Trump.
What about Trump are you most displeased by that turns you off of Trump?
I think he's too volatile. I cannot imagine this person leading our country and sitting and conversing with other world leaders.
Who ultimately earned your vote?
I voted for Kasich.
Kasich, all right. And any particular issue that attracts you to Kasich?
Not particular issue. I mean, generally, I lean more to the left. So I just think he seems the most moderate out of the other candidates that are running in the Republican primary.
And do you plan to vote for a Republican in November, or is that not a guarantee?
No, I'm definitely voting Democrat in November.
Really? So we've talked to so you're a strategic Republican primary voter. The idea being if it's going to be a Republican, you'd rather it be Kasich than Trump.
Exactly.
Did you vote in Democratic or Republican ballot?
I voted in the Republican ballot today.
Are you a lifelong Republican?
Converted Democratic person to Republican.
And who ultimately earned your support today?
John Kasich did.
And we've been hearing that from a lot of Republicans here. Why Kasich?
I'm kind of fed up with the other guys. I feel like they're not standing for what America does, and I feel like John Kasich does.
You're fed up with the other Republicans?
Republicans. Rubio, Trump, and Cruz.
Are you getting worried that as Donald Trump continues to get more and more support, the other four guys should maybe say, 3 of us should drop out so we can all get behind someone other than Trump?
That wouldn't be a bad idea, actually.
And are there any that you would not support? In other words, if the 4 got together and said it's Carson or it's Rubio or it's Cruz, would you still support them over Trump?
Oh, that's a tough question. It'd have to depend. I would probably pick Rubio over the rest of them.
And ultimately, will you be voting whoever is for the Republican nominee in November?
That remains to be seen. Hopefully an independent will step in.
Any particular issue of importance to you that makes you vote on the Republican ballot?
I think financially our country could do a lot better than what we do right now.
And in what ways specifically? Or let me put it. In what ways the country not doing well financially now?
I think that we spend a lot of money unnecessarily on government issues and welfare and stuff like that.
And which specific programs would you like to see cut if it were up to you?
Medicare, Medicaid, maybe not cut, just less funding, and welfare in general.
And
stamps.
If that was done, where would people over 65 get health care in your plan?
To be determined.
Right. To be determined. So interesting though, Lewis, Trump killed it in Massachusetts, 49% of the vote, but the non-Trump Massachusetts contingent, very, very much against Trump.
Yeah, I wonder if after talking to all these people, if all the people who were independent and voted for Kasich just to try and keep Trump in check, voted for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, lost by such a small margin in Massachusetts. Maybe he could have eked out a victory.
It's a very, very interesting question. Yeah, very, very interesting.